Let's share some Torah. I'm going to share a beautiful Ramosha Feinstein, as always, as always. That says Ramosha that they came to dedicate for the Mishkan. The men, the woman, gave their jewelry. So before we see the words of Ramosha, let's just think about this for a moment. We're building Hashem's house, so everyone's giving and giving and giving. So much so that even the women take pasha the earrings off their ears. The diamond ring off their finger. So
And the excessive givers.
so the question is, what is the apex of giving? I think if we were to think about this, we would think the greatest form would be if we were to realize that what's jewelry? It's nothingness. What's this world about? Jewelry? Give it to the Mishkan. Ramesha hones in on something absolutely incredible. Says Ramesha, Allah Nashim. The men came together with the woman and they gave the jewelry, etc. Says Ramesha, I want to read some of his words. For what reason? Vinira, Shulairis. It's teaching us the follows. Sharatzain Hashem Yisbarach. Listen to these words. The Ratzon of Hashem, Sheyitin Adam, that a person should give, Loi Machmas, is not because like what's gold and silver? It's nothing. It's pasha, it's money, it's nothing. Yeah, we'll give it all to the Mishkan. That's not the reason, says Ramesh Feinstein. That is not what Hashem wants. And I think if we were to go very deep into our minds and we would say, like, what would Rav Chaim Kanievsky say about gold? What would Rav Chaim say about money? He'd say, oh, money, nothing. Give it to the Mishkan. No, that's not the reason. Even though it's very, very chashiv. You worked really hard for that money. Yes, we understand the value of money. Mikol makayim, something is even more chashiv. Yadua loy shamishkan oid yoiser chaviv. So Ramesh is teaching us an incredible lesson. I want to read you one more line. He says, B'chol tzedakah, b'chol mitzvah. So he's teaching us how to give. You want to know how to give? You have to realize not that money's nothing. That's not the right avenue. We're barking up the wrong tree. Yes, money is chashiv. And yes, you spent a lot of hard work to make that money. And yes, it's super, super difficult to part with it. But what's more chashiv? What's more chashiv is to take your hard-earned money and to do the ultimate with it, which is to give it to the Mishkan, to give it to the Mikdash, to give it to the Tzedakah, is to realize that Tzedakah is even more chashiv. Says Ramosha Feinstein, "V'kol shekin believing atayira." Listen to this. She'av sheyada, even though you know, sheyachol gam behazman lasois mischarim, you could do business, umalachais, and you could do work, larviach harbe. You're sitting there at 9 o'clock at night, and I could click on the computer, I could send another email, I could make another phone call, and I'm going to make cash. Even though you know that. So what do you not? Why don't you do it? אבל התוירה חוביב לא יויסר. וללמד זה הרו אנשים. So what does it teach us? Shetachshitim, the woman, their jewelry, of course it was chashiv to them. Of course they wanted their diamond earrings. But they realized, Nastam lemikdash, shahamikdash yoiser chaviv. And I think such a basic idea, but it gives us a plan how to train ourselves in giving and having priorities in life. When one goes through, um, yeshiva, high school, base medrash, we're taught that what's the most chashiv thing in the world is Torah. And then one gets married, and sometimes there'll be a young married person, a really, really from Koil Yungaman, that will really mess up bad. Famous stories, Chaim Shmulevitz, that he's coming to yeshiva, and then I think it was Chaim, whoever it was, they said, "Oh, my wife and the kids." He says, and the next morning, I don't remember who the story was with. The Rosh Hashiva was there in the house helping out his wife. What are you doing? He says, "What do you mean? It's an almana here with a few kids. Not almana. I'm the husband." Well, you're not there, so she's an almana with a bunch of kids. So I'm there to help her. When one gets married, they then have to reassess their totem pole in life. And they have to then realize, wait, yes, the most chashiv thing is Torah. But no, there's something more chashiv right now, and it's called your wife. and it's called Yishalom Bayis, and it's called building a house. And the whole tachlis of you bringing on this world is to create dairies, is to train your children, is to be mechanech your children. And sometimes, just because we have the wrong attitude, and Rabbi Elfin famously says over that he's in a koilel out in, I think he says Givat Shaol, a really, really stark koilel, and he asks them, what is, whose job is it to be mechanech the kids, the yeshiva or the parents? And about 80% say the yeshiva. So how can it be the parents? I'm never home. I'm pushing koilel all day. And he says, you're possibly missing psukim in the Torah. What's man created for? Man is created. What is Adam Arishan? What is Avram Avinu? Why is he called an Av? Av Nechaldik and told his whole purpose is to have children. So sometimes Ramesha Feinstein is teaching us we have to reassess the totem pole in life. And that itself allows us to make the right decisions. Often we make the wrong decisions just because we're misguided. We don't know what we're doing. And therefore, we might think we're making the right decision. And we might think, no, this is more chashav than this, so I'm doing this. But you just missed the boat. You missed the boat. Yeah, working is chashav, money is chashav, but giving to the mikdash is more chashav. Yes, making money is chashav, but learning Torah is more chashav. Now, obviously, this is very black and white, and real life isn't that way. It's all gray. And it's, one might listen and say, he said Shalom Bayis and children are more chashav than Torah, so I should never go learn. I should be spending all night out chilling with my wife. Obviously, these things are ridiculous. But the point is that it's the totem pole of life that allows us. And when one does that, it's something so beautiful. And obviously, it's a joint endeavor, man and wife. Because then, if you have the same value system, if you have the same totem pole in life, now it's no longer a struggle. It's no longer a struggle. What should I do? What do you mean? What should you do? You know what's more important than the next. I don't think anyone would maybe he would, but they wouldn't consciously do it. Someone has a choice. He knows he has a shir to go to, and he wants to go play ball. So he knows that the wrong thing is what's right and wrong. Now he might do it, and maybe he needs. We got to be careful, right? He needs the outlet, and ball's important. And okay, good. We I know. But Lamaisa, you just have to know it. Sometimes I shouldn't belittle it. Sometimes it is important. But the point is, if you know the totem pole in life, it really removes such a level of doubt in our mind. And with removing that doubt, it recreates everything. And the line about Shalom Bayis and we're here for our children is such an important line because unfortunately, because we don't think of it that way, very often we just make the wrong decision because we don't think it's our job and we don't think that it's the most important thing in the world. It's important, yeah. But also I have kids and also I have to take care of them and also I have to be nice to them and also absolutely not. And unfortunately, there's a reason why nachas from the children is the greatest hana in this world, and there's a reason why lack of nachas from his children is the greatest tsar on this world. One might wonder, why is it such great tsar? Yes, the same person that says it's not his job to be mechanech his kids, but God forbid if that kid goes off the derech, it's a terrible tsar. What's a tsar? It wasn't your job, right? It was the yeshiva's job. So the Yerush Yeshiva should be bitzar. Why are you bitzar? Well, what's going on? So the answer is because deep down, we all know what's right. And deep down in our heart of hearts, we know what we really need to be doing. So let's reconnect to that. Zakra Moshe Feinstein, yes, the gold is important. Yes, the silver is important. Yes, the woman knew that the jewelry is important. But you know what else they knew? They knew giving to the base of Mikdash is more important. And we'll end. And I recently shared by the Haverstraw, tzedakah with some people. I shared that people ask about Meiser and this and that, but like they don't ask about, wait, maybe I should cut down on a vacation. That they don't ask about. It's like what I need that I have to do. I better have repeated this. I don't remember I repeated it. But everything else, that'll. So the answer is we gotta get our priority straight. If we were to get our priority straight, it would be so much easier. Now I understand it's difficult. I understand it's a lifelong avodah, and I understand that sometimes it does take a lot of time to get there, and that's fine. As we always say, if you know what's right and wrong, and you end up falling, that's okay. Why? Because then you'll get back up, and then you'll reassess, and you'll say, eventually, I know where I'm going. But if we don't know that Atayra Chavev Lo Yoser, then we'll forever make the wrong decision. We'll forever never join the shear. We'll forever wonder why we're miserable because we just don't know what's important in life. B'siyata d'shmaya, we should have the incredible schos, and it's a lifelong endeavor of knowing our priorities. Knowing our priorities. If we were to know our priorities, it will make everything else so much easier. It's still a battle, it's still a struggle, but it will make it that much easier knowing what we're supposed to be doing. B'siyata dishmai.